All right. That's the sound of another Malarkey hour coming right at ya. This is your host, Matt, and sitting across from me is my co-host, Mr. John. How's it going, sir? Is the microphone not working? No. I did that thing where I completely turn off. Is it on right there? Try it.
Oh, there we go.
That was missing.
Yeah. I'm here.
Okay.
What's up?
All right. Technical difficulties, but we got those squared away. All right, John. Another week, another podcast. This week we're going to do a segment. This is one of my favorite segments. I say that every week, but I mean it this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's all-time favorite movies. Me and you're pretty big movie guys, so
Seen a couple.
we've seen at least 10 movies in our lifetime. And
I say more, maybe.
right. This is one of those movies that I've seen a few times. I think I haven't seen it in a while, but I think I saw a lot, growing up. And that movie was Go.
Showgirls.
Showgirls. Actually, I've only seen Showgirls like 3 times, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. No, Go. The 1999 comedy directed by Doug Liman. Very 90s movie.
Yeah. They don't have a cell phone.
Nobody. I think like one character has a cell phone.
The car that they take.
Yeah. I think that's a cell phone. But
The drug dealer has one, right? No, he has a house phone.
He has a house phone.
No.
Yeah.
The car that they take has a cell phone.
Everybody else has pagers.
Or a car phone. Yeah, because, I know the pager thing.
Yeah. So, the 1999 film Go, directed by Doug Liman. You know what other movies he's directed?
No.
Do you recognize his name?
Yeah, you said it a minute ago, and then you said it again. And I was like, oh.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He's actually he made the first Born Identity movie.
Okay.
He directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
Jumper. Remember Jumper from 2008?
Which one's Jumper?
Jumper is the movie with, I think, Anakin Skywalker.
For a second, I was thinking of Looper, but that's that other guy.
No.
That's the Knives Out guy.
Yeah. He directed Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
And
Actually, yeah. I mean, I've seen most of these.
and American Made. That's his last film.
Those are all pretty good.
But Go was his follow-up to his first big movie, which was Swingers. He directed Swingers. So coming off the success of Swingers, he directed Go a few years later.
What do you think about Swingers?
I love Swingers. I watch that on a regular. I think I like Swingers more than you do.
I have it.
Yeah.
A little overrated.
You think it's overrated?
A little bit. It's not bad, though.
What do you think is overrated about it? Everything. You don't think it's as funny as people think? You don't think?
I don't think it's hilarious.
I don't think it's hilarious either.
I don't know. I like it enough to where I bought it.
Mm-hmm. But you definitely like Go better than Swingers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably seen Swingers 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, maybe.
I haven't seen it in a few years, but for a while I was watching it like almost every year, at least once.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Both films, Go and Swingers, have become cult classics.
So I was gonna say it's one of those people like it way later.
Yeah, especially Go. I mean, Go didn't really perform that well in the box office. I remember seeing the trailer and then seeing commercials for it, and then I didn't see it until years later on I think on HBO. Maybe like 2-3 years after it came out, or maybe I think like a year later when it first popped up on HBO. I think I saw it.
I don't think I saw it till like high school.
Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I saw it when it first hit HBO and really liked it.
I used to confuse it with something else. I can't remember.
And you know what? In my opinion, before we go too deep into it,
you know what I used to confuse it with before I saw it?
Which one?
The Rules of Attraction. I don't know why. I think it was just the box, the cover of the box.
Bunch of young people.
Yeah.
90s film.
Yeah, I think Rules of Attraction is like early 2000s, but
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
I don't
I
know
think
why.
2001. I think.
None of the same cast or anything. It was just one of those movies where it's just like
Just thought it was the same one.
it's like, oh, I've seen the box cover. Like, it's like just I don't know.
You know, I spoke to this a little bit before we started, but in my opinion, this is the best. I don't know what category you can put it, but the best way I can describe it is post Pulp Fiction movie. I don't even remember after Pulp Fiction came out in '94, you had a bunch of imitators, aping the style of Pulp Fiction, whether it's the irreverent dialogue or the fractured storylines. But you saw a bunch of movies pop up who was like, hey, let's just do a Pulp Fiction, and I think this is the best version of those movies.
They tried to do what was the one like a year ago? Or was it Bad Times at the El Royale? Kind of tried to do
a little
something.
bit with the storylines, yeah. But you saw a lot of bad imitators out there in the '90s try to do the Pulp
what?
Fiction. You know what was that one? Something I'm like blanking the name. It was with Andy Garcia. Something with Denver.
Something about dead in Denver, dying in Denver.
Yeah, something about dying in Denver or what was it called? I'm gonna look it up. Things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Yeah.
That one had a little bit of the Pulp Fiction feel.
Yeah. This one is pretty obvious though.
Yeah, because I mean it's 3 parts. I mean 3 different storylines. But you know what? I think what I like about this movie is it wasn't trying hard. Like it wasn't. Hey, it wasn't trying to be pretentious.
And William Fichtner looked old back then. He's supposed to be friends with those 2 guys, and it's funny because I'm like, this is old dude hanging out with these guys. But they probably were like around the same age, right? Maybe he was probably a little older.
I mean, he's playing a cop, so I don't think he's trying to be like. I don't think he's hanging out with them like.
Yeah, it just seems like a little old to be going to like raves and stuff.
Like, William Fichtner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an odd character.
Is it Fichtner or Fichtner?
Fichtner. I don't know. Fichtner.
Saw a movie with him the other day called The Neighbor.
The Neighbor.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah. The ending's a bummer.
I'm trying to think of other. Oh, did you ever see? I'm sorry. Going back to your question on imitators. You ever see The Big Hit with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
That one had not so much the storyline, but it had
It's like you're trying to be cool.
Exactly.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. Or remember that 2 Days in the Valley with Charlize Theron?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that one was trying a little bit. Trying to think of other ones.
I think this one just has all the
Maybe Suicide Kings, a little bit.
A little bit,
right?
Yeah.
You know which?
It also has Jay Moore.
That one has Jay Moore, right? Yeah. Very Bad Things. I think we were seeing parts of that the other day, a few weeks back.
Yeah.
That one really tried to do.
It's a little bit too ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the worst of the bunch.
But you know what? The movies like that, like Very Bad Things, really not a good movie. But it's kind of rewatchable because it. You know what's funny is it never drags.
Very bad. I described it when you had it on the other few weeks back.
It's just like Suicide Kings. It never drags, even though it's not great.
Yeah.
It never. It's like, yeah, you have my attention.
I did describe it a little bit this way when we were talking about it. It's like a bad early version of The Hangover. Very Bad Things.
Yeah.
The Hangover is better, but.
Yeah,
it's like this was the rough draft version. I think one of the worst of that.
You got to kill people with some comedy and style.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I think everybody's trying to go for when
they're trying to.
Yeah.
No, I think the worst movie of the bunch of trying to imitate Pulp Fiction was Boondock Saints. which
I've never thought of it as a Pulp Fiction.
Well, it has
imitator,
it's like the dialogue. They
but
try to do stylized dialogue, action, a lot of killings.
It is another. It's another overrated cult classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I've seen it a few times, it's funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat that scene with the. You already know what I'm talking about. Willem Dafoe.
Talking about the firefight.
Yeah, and he's just fucking doing like a play in front of everyone. Just like, they came in here, and then he fucking.
Yeah.
He puts on his opera music.
Yeah.
And he can just see what happened in his brain.
Just in his brain, just based on nothing.
Yeah. He swirls his hands around with it, like he's dancing around the crime scene.
Yeah. At least he's having fun. Like, nobody else was having fun with this movie except Willem Dafoe.
It's like, there was a firefight. Everyone out there should just Google.
There was a firefight.
Boondock Saints. There was a firefight.
And you that's the most entertainment you're gonna get from that movie.
It's that scene is just hilarious.
Yeah,
like he should really be on some sort of leave after that for discharging his gun in a residential area.
Right. But no. So I mean, I think of all those imitators. I think this is the best version of that. It had a little bit of the Pulp Fiction feel just because of the 3 storylines, but it I think legitimately is funny.
I think I'm not gonna say it. I want to go back to I don't want to get off topic, but Bad Times at the El Royale definitely did it better than most, and it probably has more points that I can actually say, oh, okay, that's why it's the same, or that's why it's similar.
Right.
As far as structure and shit like that.
Yeah.
Whether it comes to just, bad guys dancing to old music or just, what do they call it, non-linear storylines. Yeah. Characters connecting, all that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting with this one, having 3 storylines. The writer, John August, he actually wrote this as a short film. And it was only going to be the Rona storyline, the first one. With the Sarah Polly.
Yeah, the
Sarah Polly's character.
Blonde chick.
Yeah, the blonde chick. And the only reason it became a full movie is somebody asked him what happened with the other 2 characters. So he wrote. Yeah, so he wrote more story to explain what happened.
How do you spell that on a piece of paper?
So yeah, people would read his script for the short that he wanted to make, and they kept asking him, hey, what happened to that guy that went to Vegas? What's his story? And hey, what about these two actors? What was their story?
Right.
So he's like, well, let me write about it, and it ended up becoming these 2 other parts that made it into a full length film. So
it works.
It works. Yeah, it's not forced. Yeah. I think that's the reason I think it works better than others, because I think a lot of the imitators they were forcing themselves to write in that style because they wanted to sort of ape Pulp Fiction. But this one's it felt natural. It's you sort of want to know what's going on with the other 2 storylines.
So the screenwriter, it was a short story, and then he expanded it into a screenplay.
Just because people wanted to know what happened to the other 2 pair of characters.
So it was different writer, different director.
Yeah.
Okay.
They brought Doug Lemon in. But yeah, I mean it stars a lot of actors from the 90s. You have Sarah Polly, Taye Diggs, William Fichtner.
What else did Sarah Polly do?
She's done a bunch of stuff. I think she was mostly a 90s.
I was looking at right now.
She was she was in the new Dawn of the Dead. I remember that's the other one I remember a lot from her. The 2004 version of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. No, she has a lot of 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, she was mostly in 90s.
See, when we say 2000s now, we have to say early 2000s.
Why?
Well, because if we're trying to do kind of 90s is obvious. You got that decade from 90 to 99, but now we're 2020.
Well, I always think 2000s from 2000 to 2010, and then you got the 2010s.
Just sounds weird to say the 2010s, right?
I say 2010s a lot.
How often do you say the 2010s?
At least once a week.
Okay. You
But
make, like consciously like make a point to do it.
I find scenarios that I have to say 2010s. I sneak it into my conversations.
Yeah.
Any chance I get, John. 2010s.
Right.
It's like
But that weather
you're the
remind-
2010s.
reminds me of something right the summer of the 2010s. Those are hot summers.
So it's Sarah Polley. What else did I say? Sarah Polley, Tate Diggs, William Fichtner, Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
When she was still doing Dawson's Creek,
She was young
she was young.
before she met Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, Breckin-Meyer, a very 90s actor. I don't think most people know who Breckin-Myers is anymore. Very, very 90s.
Which one was he?
He was the one of the guys who got stomach issues in the movie.
The non-British one?
Yeah. Remember he was the dumb stoner in Clueless, the skateboarder.
Okay, yeah, the one that they don't want her to
Road Trip.
to date.
Yeah, Road Trip. Rat Race.
Okay.
He's he was very popular in the 90s. Hasn't really done as much.
Yeah, I forget the.
Can't Hardly Wait.
I like that movie.
Yeah, I love Can't Hardly Wait.
I saw it in middle school, so I figured that's exactly what high school was gonna be like.
And like this past the 2010s, John, he did 5 films. And none of them I've seen. So
He's doing stuff.
yeah, at least he's working, right? But he's very much a 90s actor. Let me see who else was in this. I said Katie Holmes, Jane Krakowski, from
She looks the same.
yeah,
I mean, she's obviously doesn't, but she like aged.
she's pretty well.
She's aged quite well.
Yeah,
At least the last thing I saw her in.
Jay Moore, another 90s name.
He works,
Yeah.
tours.
Scott Wolf, Party
yeah.
of 5.
I was gonna say,
Scott
what was
Wolf.
that TV show?
Party of 5. That was a sad show.
Also, because the parents were killed.
Yeah, that's such a they're always crying on that show. I never really watched it. It wasn't a show that I watched a lot, but like I would see they used to do previews on like commercials like this week on Party of 5.
My sisters would watch it. I had a crush on the, what's her name? Not Jennifer. Well, also Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Lacey Chabert.
Yes.
Yeah, Lacey Chabert's pretty. Very pretty.
She's still hot.
Yeah.
Comes out in those, not Lifetime. What's the other one? Hallmark movies.
Hallmark movies. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant, also a young Timothy Oliphant.
He was in the. Well, you watch it. What's the show that he was in?
Deadwood.
Yeah.
Deadwood, and then the other one that a lot of people liked was that where he was a sheriff. Well, he was a sheriff in both, but it was like more modern version. Which one was it?
I don't know. I know he was just in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's right. He's 50.
He had a pretty big scene in that movie.
Yeah. I mean,
it was
Huh?
it was probably what a lot of people would say is the longest scene of the movie, actually.
Yeah. Justified was that his show from this decade, from the 2010s decade, John. I've never seen an episode.
You know what those shows have in common, though?
What?
I didn't see either one.
And then finally, the first her film debut, Melissa McCarthy's in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, she was the friend when.
When the gay guys go up,
Yeah.
Jay Moore and
she looks
Scott.
She looks a little different. She was a little bit
Yeah.
thinner, a little younger. But it's
Is she like a roommate or? Is
yeah,
she,
I think she's like a roommate.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I can't believe I had no idea she was in this. Like I said, I hadn't seen it in a while, so I don't think I've seen it since Melissa McCarthy became big. And I don't mean big, and I mean big
Jesus.
And,
I mean,
but yeah, it's her film debut. So a lot of actors in this movie, a lot of '90s actors. But yeah.
why do you think it's called Go? They say it a lot in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's called Go?
Why do I think it's called Go? You want me to give you my opinion or the reason why?
Well, I would probably, if you have an official reason, I would probably take it over your opinion.
There actually is a reason.
They say it a few times.
Well, it's interesting. I hadn't thought of this, but apparently some Some people think it's go because that's a common slang word for speed.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've
So,
never called speed go.
yeah. Apparently, it's that's what it says. Common slang word for speed.
Speed for meth.
For meth. Yeah.
Or
Meth.
speed meth, whatever.
Yeah.
Bunch of we all have those go-ahead friends.
Go ahead, Reds, right? Yeah, that is a weird. I mean, apparently, I don't know. I'm not hip with the streets, so I don't know what it's.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think it's called Go?
I think. Well, you could just like, you could make the argument. It's like everybody's in a hurry.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
urgency throughout the whole fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do say the word go a lot.
They do say go a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I did notice that 'cause rewatched it before we did this.
Yeah.
And they do say it a lot. Even when they go back, it's like a lot of the big characters, like at some point, say go.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they do.
Like that's when Jay Moore says it to, what's her name? Sarah Polly. When they do the second, not flashback, but when they show it from the non-linear later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him, like, he mouths it to her, so that's what tips her off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, yeah, that's a shitty situation
Yeah. Yeah.
for everyone.
Everybody
Except
involved.
William Fichtner. Seems like he's having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about it a little bit then. Obviously we talked about it's three different little short like stories. They're all interconnected with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all set around Christmas. I forgot it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember it. Now I remember it's
another Christmas movie to go with Die Hard and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. And you know what? It's
Gather around, children.
and it's I don't know if it technically counts.
Miracle on 34th Street. We'll get to it.
I don't know if it technically counts because it sort of does get a little stretched, but isn't it essentially a one night movie?
Pretty much.
Right?
It's
Because even the Vegas
it's pretty
stuff,
much
the Vegas stuff happens that same night, right?
yeah, because it starts in the morning.
Does it start in the morning?
Well, it's out of sequence.
Oh,
though.
you're right. Yeah.
It starts one morning. I think it ends the next morning, technically.
Yeah.
And I guess one thing it does have in common with Pulp Fiction is...
Well, no, actually, it ends like afternoon almost because they have breakfast and then they would go back to the apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how long did it take them to get back to the apartment?
I don't know.
Could still be
Maybe
morning.
like noon, or maybe late
Yeah.
morning. Yeah, you're right. Maybe late morning.
It's about 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
how
and
long?
That is definitely a Pulp Fiction thing. It's like we'd open it in the diner
Mm-hmm.
with an obscure conversation.
Yeah, it is true. Right?
Yeah. She's talking about Christmas and what you think is in the box, and
Yeah.
it's not ever what you expect in the Christmas present.
Yeah. You know, that's why they did it well. The dialogue actually is pretty well done in this movie. It doesn't seem, you know, it being a 20-year-old movie. Actually, the dialogue still works.
Yeah.
They,
No,
they,
it does.
they don't talk about it. It's not. It's age well because they don't talk anything specific about that era that much.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
They're not talking about like fucking Nintendos or Sega Genesis.
no, but it
I
works.
mean, the only thing that ages is obviously the technology, but there's only so much you can do with that.
yeah.
You can't add cell phones after the fact.
I'm gonna go see Pryor next week.
Right?
I don't know. It's yeah, no, it works.
Yeah.
But that is very distinct. It's like it is just like a obscure conversation at the beginning, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kind of a pointless conversation.
Almost. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like to call it the Seinfeld dialogue.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it does. I mean, if you want to get deep into it, I mean,
Yeah.
or not.
I mean, they even at the beginning of Pulp Fiction. I mean, before they rob him, what are they talking about? They're talking about nobody.
Nobody robs. They're talking about what?
Yeah, nobody robs diners and stuff like that. But I mean, that is to set up something.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit more just casual chit chat.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I was gonna say. So yeah, it's set around Christmas time, and the first story is Rana's story, right? So she's trying to save up enough money to not get evicted from her apartment, so she's working overtime, and her coworker Simon offers her his shift, so she takes it so he can take off to Vegas. So, and during his shift, she is approached by two gentlemen who are wanting to buy some drugs from her coworker Simon, but he's not there obviously. So she
20
jumps
20 at 20.
20 for 20. They want some ecstasy, so she
That was
jumps
before ESPN came in. They're 30 for 30.
in. Right, so they took it from Bill Simmons took it from this movie. He probably did. Nah, I don't know.
Inflation. Or he was just overpaying.
So she decides, hey, let me. She knows where Simon gets his drugs, so she acts as the middleman in this situation. She says, hey, sure, I could get you 20 for 20. So she goes to Simon's drug dealer, who's played by Timothy Oliphant, and she asks him, "Can you front me some pills?" Which all drug dealers are more than happy to do, because most drug dealers work on credit.
Then he pumps up the music. He makes her do that Roger Ailes thing.
Yeah, he stole it. Roger Ailes stole it from him, or you think he stole it from Roger Ailes? Roger Ailes was in that way before him, right?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Ask her to turn around.
Yeah. Take off her shirt and spin around.
Spin around. Telling fan looking all.
Have wires gotten better? Because it's funny when you watch movies like going all the way to like
The Wire.
Like
to show The Wire.
Or even before watching like Wall Street with Charlie Sheen.
Oh, that sure he's wearing a wire.
And I'm
right?
like, I was like, it's still like, it's like they're gonna find it right away.
Right.
You think they would gotten better, like, because you can watch late Sopranos, and they're still just like checking your chest.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I guess now with cell phones.
yeah, he does that in right. Can I ruin Michael Clayton?
Sure.
He does that in Michael Clayton
Cell phone.
to resolve the conflict. I won't get too into it, but he just uses like an old flip phone.
Yeah.
And that's enough for the FBI and the cops and stuff.
I've known some people in some situations they've recorded people on their cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For what, like blackmail?
Not blackmail per se, but let's just say, yeah. I don't want to get too into it, but yeah, people use their cell phone, and you can
give
pick
names and info.
But yeah, something people don't think about is like people can record you. I mean, it's so common that people have their cell phone, like, you're somewhere and they just have it on their table.
I had somebody a couple months ago. They're so paranoid. They were talking about somebody else.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of shit talking, and we know each other, but I wouldn't say we're that close.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Are you fucking recording me right now?" I go, "No." I said,
what a reason?
I said because he was talking about somebody in particular.
Okay.
And I'm like, "No, you dumbass!" Like I'm like, I was fucking looking at my text messages.
So you're paranoid, right? But yeah, I mean, it's so easy to. I mean, you have a constant recorder on your hands.
I told you it was funny because anybody who's seen Wall Street, that's he wears a wire, and that pretty much that's pretty much how the movie's gonna end.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's funny is I remember as soon as Wall Street ended, I changed it and I put this is still like on like different cable channels, and I put it on. It was like. It was the end of Michael Clayton. I was like, and then he's recording to him. I was like, is this how every movie ends? Like they just
people recording.
It was literally like 2 minutes after it was over. I put on Michael Clayton.
And he's recording people.
He's just recording her. I'm like, is every movie just resolved by?
You know what?
Recording?
I think it is because it's always that twist. It's like somebody confesses. It's like just a few months back. I don't want to ruin it, but like a movie that came out, they're recording them. It's like, oh yeah, like. It seems like it's resolved. Like it's like, oh, I got you.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. You mentioned it a little earlier, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But yeah, I mean, I think it is a common thing to go to. It's like, oh, you've been recording this whole time, and I think they're recording with the cell phone. That's just funny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But like even going like deep into The Sopranos, which was when did it end?
About like 13 years ago.
Yeah, but it's like there's a big difference between like.
It's a big jump. Yeah.
Yeah, the decades have passed, and it's like you're still doing it this way. Like they're just they're shaving their chest and taping it. And I'm like, can't you have like a little, like, I don't know, maybe even like a suppository with all the technology?
Well, it's always the mic. I mean, right now we're speaking directly into a mic, and that's the thing. That's the biggest limitation. How can you capture the voice?
Yeah, but
you have to be close enough.
Cell phones have been so good. I could put it across the room,
and you can still hear.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, these microphones are really good on these. I mean, they're made for talking, right? So.
Probably. Right.
I rarely use it for that anyway. Yeah.
Paperweights.
Yeah. But yeah, so she gets to going back to the movie, she gets to his apartment. And yeah, he's paranoid. Obviously, he's a drug dealer, so he's never done business with her. So it's a little odd for her to be coming to him for drugs. So
yeah.
And what did he say? He goes, "It's weird that you come and ask the specific number that crosses
trafficking.
Yeah, crosses over to trafficking."
Which I don't know if that's bullshit.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a line. It's sounded okay. It's sounded like believable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I get all my facts from 90s movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the federal drug laws, but I guess that's the number. But
my favorite is America's Diamond. It's obscure for anyone that doesn't live in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
So I still love that. What do they say? It's like a diamond. They just sell diamonds, right?
Yeah.
Or rings.
It's a local diamond shop.
Yeah. And they do their infomercial. Like the only thing that can scratch a diamond is another diamend. And I'm like, wait, what?
You don't have that fact.
It's like some weird vampire shit. It's bitten by a true blood.
So Todd is the name of the dealer. He's a little paranoid, but once he sees that she's not wearing a wire, he gets her the pills, and Rhonda's not able to pay, so she leaves her friend Claire, played by Katie Holmes, as collateral, while she goes and gets more money for the pills. Obviously, her intent is to get.
It's a nice friend.
Yeah, it's like pawn her off to a drug dealer.
Fuck you.
So Rana goes back and she meets with Adam and Zach. That's the names of the two guys who are trying to buy drugs.
Yeah.
But
why do they buy all that orange juice?
That's weird, right? It's like I don't know.
I don't get it.
Even when you jump to their story, it still doesn't make sense why they bought all that orange juice.
Yeah.
That's that whole scene in that house with William Fichtner's character is funny because he's like, oh, let me go get some orange juice for you. And he's like, we're all orange juice. Like, what the fuck was all that orange juice you bought? Yeah. And like, oh, we left it in the car. It's like, it's such a weird, like.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's something that she doesn't feel is right. And she flushes the ecstasy down the toilet.
You know what? Unless.
What?
No, that'd be stupid. Does orange juice go well with ecstasy?
I don't know, the sugar.
Now there's something.
I can understand they had like vodka with them or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. Like maybe it's like, a mixer for alcohol.
Yeah.
There is something about certain drugs that you're not supposed to take with like grape juice.
Oh, really?
Because it can enhance them.
Oh, okay.
And
what is in the grape juice?
I don't know, but
you mean grapefruit juice or?
Yeah, like just stuff. Yeah, just regular grapefruit juice.
Oh, okay.
Like there actually is like a warning on some drugs, but it also applies to some like illegal drugs too.
Okay. I wonder what it is about grapefruit.
It's supposed to be like enhance certain thing, but not for certain types of drugs. So I don't fucking know.
That's weird. Luckily, I don't like grapefruit.
They could have just fucking. I don't know. It could make no sense at all, and then just
reading too much into it.
Yeah. I have no theory. I have no idea what they bought all the oranges.
So Rana gets spooked and she flushes the drugs down the toilet, but now she has to figure out, my friend's stuck with that drug dealer. So either she comes up with $100 or
it's 200, isn't it?
Well, she has to come up with the 100. She already gave him 200.
Oh, well, she has to come up. Well, technically, she would have to come up with. She gave him what? 200, and then she took the 20.
She needed another 100.
Okay, so now
no, she gave him 300 then. I'm sorry, because what 20 for 20? Oh no, yeah, I'm sorry. How much did he charge her? 15. 15.
All she had was 2, and he wanted 3.
Yeah.
So she was 100 short, but she took his ecstasy.
There you go.
Yeah,
because he sold it for 15. And she was gonna sell it for 20. Yeah, that's right. So she owes him 100. So instead of trying to figure out how to get 100. So she's just what did she use?
At first it's like
Was it aspirin? No, not
I
aspirin.
know she's selling like allergy meds and she's going through all of it.
But she
grabs everything.
But she gives the drug dealer Todd.
It could have been like baby aspirin or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So that's what the guy says. The one that popped the two.
Yeah, it
in
looked
the
like
car.
reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, they go to the rave and she starts selling the other.
Yeah.
That is a funny scene when she's like, "You need to take a lot of pot for it to really."
Mhm.
So, but
Dumbass kids are like, I feel it.
I feel it. But Todd comes a knock in. He realizes the drugs were fake, and he corners her in the rave, and then she gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then it
I don't know how he
jumps.
figured it out. He might have just looked at him.
Worst drug dealer ever, right?
Yeah.
So then it jumps to Simon's story. So Simon's in Vegas. You know, before I go, what was your favorite storyline? Was it Rana's, Todd's, or was it what was the other two? It was Adam and Zach's.
I kind of like the Adam Zach storyline, but the Brana's more like. Actually, the Vegas one is a lot of fun.
The Vegas one's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lot of fun because it just gets pretty chaotic.
Yeah. But it's the least necessary of the three, though.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not that it's like filler. It's not that important.
Yeah. You know what? Going back to comparing to Pulp Fiction.
It is a way to link the characters.
A little bit, right?
Just like the credit card and stuff.
Like going back to Pulp Fiction, I've always said the most fucked up and funniest of the three storylines is the Bruce Willis one, but it's also the ones that I think I have the most, I don't want to say issues with, but it's like, it's like, especially his relationship with his girlfriend, like, but it's still one of the more fun ones because of all the fucked up shit that happens.
Then you don't get that Christopher Walken scene.
Or the Gimp, or,
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's a way to take you down like a weirder,
darker path,
Yeah. I don't know, fucking driving down that alley. Dude, they would have been fucked up when they got hit like sideways like that. Yeah. I was like, everybody's just fine.
Yeah.
T-boned like that at like full speed.
Yeah. So obviously we go into the Simon storyline. They're going to Vegas. He's going with his friend Marcus, Tiny, and Singh, and they go gambling.
It's a shitty strip club.
They go to a shitty strip club. They steal somebody's car. What kind of car was it?
Was it a Ferrari? No,
it wasn't.
No, it was might have been a Corvette.
No, it was a Ferrari.
Was it?
Yeah, it says here Ferrari.
Because that guy thinks he's valet, right?
Yeah, and then there's a story. What is it? Oh yes, Simon does the. What's his name? What's the guy? Tate Diggs talks about. Actually, that's one of the funnier ones. He talks about having tantric sex with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
like Sting.
And then Simon decides to do that with the two girls he's having a threesome with.
Apparently, he's able to just do it.
Yeah, just with no practice.
Yeah, he heard about it.
Which I love about it is like with no practice at all, just somebody else describing it.
And that fucking dumbass girl with the tissue paper up her nose. Put a lighter to her face.
Hey, you know what's interesting about this movie? I didn't notice until I was reading a little bit more. Somebody pointed out that something always bad happens in this movie when people are having sex.
Is it like the John Travolta in the bathroom?
Yeah, it sort of is. It's like, I didn't really think about it. But yeah, anytime somebody attempts to have sex in this movie, something bad happens. So he has a threesome and it doesn't go well. The hotel room goes, aflames. And
yeah.
And then they're leaving the casino, and one of the guys. It is funny that everybody thinks Tate Diggs works there because it was checking.
Yeah. Asked him I think he's a bathroom attendant.
Yeah, and the valet. So they steal a guy's Ferrari and they take it to a strip club, and
that is more like, I guess it is more what I call Seinfeld dialogue. It's like the tantric sex thing.
Yeah, it is a little bit more.
It's more what like.
Or even what's his name, Breckenmeyer's story about the girl giving him head, which she stole from Tate Diggs apparently. Like that's another like.
Yeah.
So
Because they're not. It's not boring. It gets compelling dialogue because you're like, oh, where's this going?
Yeah, yeah.
It really serves no purpose other than to entertain you.
Hey, do you remember that Simpsons episode where it's like broken up into different stories?
Mm-mm.
And it almost seems like Pulp Fiction, where at one point I think that weird army guy who has no arm, who has one arm. I think you remember it's like 37. I forget the title of it, but it's broken up into different parts.
127 hours.
I always assumed they were doing a parody of Pulp Fiction, but apparently they were doing a parody of Go, the writers
really?
of the Simpsons. Yeah, yeah. I always thought it was they're obviously ripping off Pulp Fiction, but they said no, like they were inspired by Go. Like, that's interesting. Which is Go is essentially inspired by Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. They're like, what's Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So they go to the strip club and they had that was actually I think that's probably my favorite scene, that when they're getting a lap dance, because it's like they're being so erotic, and then the minute he touches them, like just slightly, they get all offended over.
Yeah, I was like, I could tell you about a dozen here in town where they wouldn't get upset, and they'll grab your hand.
So it leads to
they'll get upset if you don't do that, and you'll get thrown out.
Right. So that leads to Simon shooting the bouncer in the arm.
Yeah.
But
that guy's a little excessive with the.
Yeah, he starts beating the crap out of him. Yeah, I mean, usually you could just you could just kick him out. So, so they have to flee Vegas, and that's how it ends.
I like reading strip club reviews. It's fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. So and then after that we jump into the last story, which is Adam and Zach, who end up. We find out they're actually actors in a soap opera. And then we find out later that they're both gay.
Yes.
So that was the big twist. They're both gay. And they're both lovers to each other.
Right. Like you had to add that to each other.
So apparently they've been busted for drug possession, and now they're working for William Fichtner's character, Burke. And they...
it's Fichtner.
Fichtner? Is it Fichtner?
I don't know.
He asked them to go undercover to entrap a dealer. So they were going to entrap Simon, but ended up being, what's her name, Rona. So we follow their day and how it looks like for them. Now we see the wire and the way they put the wire in. And it's a big thing, like by his nuts. Big pack.
Yeah. It's safe to have the radio that close to his nuts.
Yeah.
Safe enough, I think.
So obviously, we find out why her instincts were correct, because we see Jay Moore's character tell her to go.
Yeah.
So now we know why she was so perceptive on this wasn't, on the up and up. So obviously they satisfy their requirements. So Burke lets him go, but before he does, he invites him over for a Christmas dinner with his wife. And it's a little weird. We get the sense that not all is what it seems, but if they find out that Burke and his wife are actually multi-level marketers, not the swingers that they thought they were.
Yeah. Which can be more awkward in my experience.
And they're trying to sell them on their. They never say what they're. I know they say Amway, but I don't know if it's Amway or not.
No, actually, you know what I noticed?
It's a fake company,
when I
right?
rewatched it. Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah.
Is after they hit her with the car, when they open the trunk, the box says, it says Confederated
Products. Yeah. That's funny. So they're
when he defends it, he goes, "No, it's not Amway. It's a different company with a different quality of product."
Yeah. So they're having to now sell these products, but before they do, they discover they've both been cheating on each other with the same hairdresser.
Yeah.
On the soap opera, so they go to that same rave that everybody's at to confront him, and they cut a lock of his hair, and as they're leaving, being triumphant in their.
I like how that's his big punishment, just cutting a piece of his hair off.
Oh, yeah, pretty nice hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they're leaving the rave, they actually accidentally run over Rona. So they're the car from the first part.
Yeah.
And they leave Rona there.
You ever seen on the box cover, the logo, it says life begins at 3 a.m.?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the timeline. So. And not much to think about. It's just like, maybe that's like when the party, I don't know.
I don't know. Raves don't really have a ending point, right? It's pretty much when everybody.
I don't really go anymore.
Yeah. So they leave her there to die, and as they're talking about, is she gonna be okay? One of them realizes he's still wearing that wire.
Oh yeah.
Which that never gets resolved, right?
Nah, I think they're probably fine.
Yeah. So they're feeling guilty, so they decide to go back and look for the body, and then it's a beach.
Well, you find out in Go 2.
But they go back and they find that she's all right. She's still alive.
So they do the right thing
and blame it on somebody else.
Throw her on a random car.
Yeah. And blame it on somebody else. So she's fine. Rana's fine. And then the movie ends happily ever after with Rana and Todd. No, not Rana and Todd. I'm sorry. Claire and Todd, the drug dealer.
Yeah.
About to have sex when
This ex Tom Cruise.
Yes, the ex from Tom Cruise. The two bouncers from Vegas end up showing up. Actually, it's a father and son team, right?
Yeah, they're father and son.
Yeah, and then that's when it gets resolved. We get Simon coming in, and the story gets resolved where he's gonna shoot him.
So Timothy, the drug dealer, he let Simon borrow his credit card, right?
I get the sense he did. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it's like
weird. Yeah,
because it seems like he let him, right? But he wasn't supposed to charge it. He was just supposed to let him use it for the room. Like
yeah. It seems like they're friends.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But he's gonna let him shoot him in his room, though.
In his arm.
Yeah.
He ends up not shooting it, right?
No, he shoots him. You don't see it.
But he's saying like, "Oh, I'm fine."
Yeah, because he was okay with him. Like they put the little X on his arm.
Yeah, I guess.
And he's like, "Go ahead." Like he's encouraging them to do it.
That I never understood.
I mean, why else would the gun have gone off? Like he was still. She got out of there before they did it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So Claire leaves and will visit. Where did she go? I'm trying to go back to. Oh yeah, that's when they realize she goes back to work.
She goes back to work.
She goes back to work. Rana's there. She's got out of the hospital, and then they realize, oh shit, they're friends still at the rave. So they go and pick him up and.
Under like some trash and stuff, right?
Yeah, and then they start making plans for New Year's. Can't wait to see how their New Year's looks like.
That's funny.
Is
it Christmas Eve or they don't really tell you?
They didn't really tell you. It's around Christmas time. Like, well, I mean, William Fichtner's character said they invite them over for Christmas dinner, but he said they're having it early because they both have to work.
Yeah.
So you get the sense maybe it's a few days before Christmas.
Yeah. They're driving around in that fucking car
with the lights.
Yeah. The holiday lights.
Yeah. I should make the comment. I was like, I'm gonna put holiday lights on my car.
Yeah. Police don't look for that at all.
Right. But yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a perfect car to trafficking drugs.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I said, it's my favorite post Pulp Fiction movie in terms of like trying to be like Pulp Fiction.
It's good.
It's really good.
Like I said, there's still some unanswered questions, but it works.
Actually has 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't care.
Yeah. For people who care about that.
Not a fan of Rotten Tomatoes.
And like I said, it's become a cult movie. When it first came out, it got good reviews, but like I said, it didn't make a lot of money. But as time went on, it's become one of those movies that people talk about, and rightfully so. I think it doesn't feel long. That's
what she said.
Yeah, it speeds through its runtime pretty efficiently. Doesn't overstay its welcome.
I don't think it's that long, is it?
It's like an hour and a half, hour 40, if that.
Yeah. Just like Tarantino's movies.
Yes. But But you know, I mean, that's smart. I mean, they weren't gonna try to do a super long movie. They're like, hey, we're gonna do a Pulp Fiction light, and it worked. It's a
Yeah.
very, you know,
Yeah.
even it,
It's like Pulp Fiction for teenagers.
yeah, nobody gets hurt for the most part, right?
Rana got a little fucked up.
No, but like nobody dies,
Yeah.
right? Nobody dies.
You did see her get hit by that car, though, right?
Yeah, but she didn't die.
You're right. Nobody
Dies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
People take drugs, they party, but everybody's fine at the end.
I think she should have taken that day off.
But and you know, it is a funny movie. Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. It's you know, I really like Doug Liman's a good director. He knows what he's like. He's
Well, I mean, after you rattle off those movies, I was like, oh, most of those are good.
yeah. He has a nice sense of his movies. A lot of his movies have a lot of good energy. Like, you know, they're really fast paced movies.
Yeah. Well, I still don't remember what Jumper was, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was very good.
But yeah, it's. What do you think, John? So, you know, what was your favorite scene? I think I already told you mine. I think that strip club scene was my favorite of the whole movie. For you, what did you rate as your favorite scene in the whole movie?
It's funny because it's not. I do like the swinger, like where they think they're swingers, and then they just have that weird, just awkward moment where it's just like, you want us to sell Amway?
Yeah.
But I think since I've been part of those companies, it's funny to me. How
Yeah.
they're trying to defend it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
they're like, we're not trying to. What is it? It's not. They call it like, we're not trying to make it seem sinister at all. They're just trying to. He's like, everything from the to the wine to.
Yeah, it's all bought by Confederate.
Yeah.
Like,
because it is funny leading up to there. He's trying to show him how sturdy his bed is.
Yeah, he's just thinking it's like there's just weird swinger people. It's
Yeah.
like, no,
It is one of those scenes. You just have to get to watch it.
Yeah.
But it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because it does look like definitely they're trying to get him into bed.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah.
okay. You just leave there with like papers and just they're off the hook after that, right?
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happens. It is one of those, like, it is nothing bad happens to any of them. Like, the end result, everybody goes home safe.
Yeah.
Including the actors who thought they killed somebody.
Yeah.
You know, actually, another favorite of mine was when they're dealing with her. They think it's her dead body, and he's like, this is all just another scene. He's like, say hi to whatever her face on makeup. It's like
Talks about the blocking.
Yeah, the blocking. Like, just focus on your blocking. That was pretty funny. Let's see.
What was I getting at? Yeah, just her, and then the guy got shot in the arm. That's about it.
That's about it. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, everybody goes home. Everybody's safe. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
So going back, I mentioned earlier about sex sort of being a bad omen, right? It is interesting. Remember that the scene in the first segment where Rana and Todd, the drug dealer, are talking, and he says, "What does he say about sex?" He says, "I don't give my best friend's head." I always thought it was a weird line, but it's like, yeah, he's talking about sex as a metaphor for like a betrayal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you have Simon having his threesome, and the hotel room goes on fire.
Yeah.
And then you sort of talk about, and then even people discussing sex, right? The two actors talking about each of them cheating on each other,
right?
And how that leads to them running over Rona after they get revenge on their shared lover. Yeah. So, and then obviously Todd and Claire are about to have sex on the stairs when those two bouncers come in. So,
because everyone ends up at that rave, right?
Everybody is in that rave, yeah. Every single except Simon.
Yeah, that's
because he's still in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sex is definitely a metaphor that runs through this film.
Yeah. Nah, it's a fun movie. Like I said, it's just, that's why I was like, it's called Go. I think it's just because it's fucking fast paced.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's that deep.
It never loses. It never slows down.
Never slows down. Yeah, yeah. Before we go, I'll write off some fun facts. So apparently, that the grocery store where they filmed, the director picked it because it was like run down, so he wanted that look. So they paid the owner to use it, but before they started filming, the owner took some of the money that they paid him, and he like repaired the store. Like he repainted it, he made it look nice. So when they came back, it looked a lot nicer. So they went back and like, crap. So now they actually went back and they had to like make the store ugly again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some kind of miscommunication there.
Sarah Polly.
It's like if you were just like hired to play an ugly person in a film, and you're like, my big break, and then you get all this like surgery done, and now you're attractive. And you're like, what the fuck?
What you do, man? Yeah.
We gotta ugly you up again or fire you.
Sarah Polly stated in interviews that the reason she took the role is because she loved the line in the opening scene where she's talking to that random customer, and she says, it's like, oh, I used to have your job. And then she goes, and look how far I got you.
Right.
That's a funny line. So she said that she took it. She really liked that line.
Do you ever remember anyone asking you paper or plastic?
No.
Ever?
No.
I've only heard it in movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless we're just not old enough. I don't know.
I don't think it's used as much paper. That's why, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only heard that in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So originally, the director didn't want to cast Scott Wolf because he already had Katie Holmes, and he didn't want to have two TV
Because he learned it was Scott Wolf. I don't know.
He didn't want two TV actors. But he said that what convinced him is he saw Scott Wolf talking with Jane Moore, and he saw the chemistry between the two. So
they never interact, right?
Who?
Oh, well, yeah, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
Scott Wolf and...
no, he just didn't want two TV actors in the same movie.
Yeah. Because they were both in the same... They were both in a show at that time, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, they were both on TV shows.
She had, Dawson's Creek?
Yeah, she had Dawson. And you know what's funny? You forget unless you were, alive during that time. It's like somebody who sees this movie and they weren't, born during that time. It was a big... deal, the fact that she was in this like R-rated comedy and she was on Dawson's Creek. I remember a little bit of that. Like, oh, like Katie Holmes is in this movie about drugs, and she was like this wholesome like teenager on Dawson's Creek. So,
right.
Yeah.
Later, she would change her life and find Xenu, Church of Scientology.
And like I mentioned before, John August, the writer, had originally intended to go to be a short film. So the original screenplay was only the Rana part, and the other two sections were added to explain why Simon went to Vegas and why Adam and Zach were what they are. Like I said, Milton McCarthy's film debut. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, apparently, I didn't catch this, but when they go to the party, Rhonda introduces herself and Claire as Kelly and Donna, which is our characters from the original show Beverly Hills 90210.
When they go, oh, okay, when they're selling their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kelly and Donna. So I was like, oh, that's funny.
How stupid are those kids?
Yeah, they're pretty stupid. Yeah, they thought aspirin was ecstasy. They should never had done ecstasy. So.
Have you ever done drugs? And say you ever gotten screwed over in a drug deal?
You know what? It is one of those things. Like, what do you do at that point? You don't do anything, right? Especially if you buy it from like a very scary person. Or even if you don't buy it from a scary person, it's just one of those like you just bite the bullet. And you're like, okay, I lost that.
I had a friend that tried to buy acid, and he spent $100, and it was like just like little pieces of paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But did they know the person they were buying it from?
I don't think so. It was literally like, somebody trying to screw him over. He's like, oh, he'll meet you here at this time. And like the car pulled up, and like Gave him $100, and the guy gave him like a Ziploc bag with just a little cut piece of paper.
That wasn't anything.
No, it was nothing at all.
Yeah, and there's no way to like for you to like.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, the director he had never been to a rave until he started pre-production of the film. It's just I don't know how true this is. He found that he really liked attending them.
Did you really like what?
Attending them.
Nice.
So it's like, I don't know how true that is, but it's just.
After his short stint in rehab,
Right.
finish filming, go.
So apparently Timothy Oliphant, the only reason he was cast in this film is because he was fired from another movie called Practical Magic.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that's
Saw it at the movies with my mother.
did you? Yeah. Saw a lot of movies at the movies with your mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what else. What else?
The
Actually, they mentioned that what you said when they look in the trunk of their car. There's a brief shot of a box of Tide that is pasted over with the Confederate products label.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So I think I asked you, like, I think a lot of people confuse Timothy Oliphant with that other guy, the one from Transformers.
Yeah.
Especially when like
They both have the same hair. Yeah. They both.
Dude, they look similar.
They look very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other guy's name?
It's something. Is it Dunham?
Durham something, right?
He was in that Las Vegas show.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I think what's his name is a better actor though.
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant's a much better actor.
Yeah, it was. What was the? Who was the guy in that? I know you didn't watch
Josh
it.
Duhamel. That's his name.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, they do look very similar.
That's
so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for a while because the one from the Girl Next Door movie.
That's him, right?
That's Oliphant.
Is that Oliphant?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought it was Dumal too, and then I was like, oh, it's Oliphant.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the porn producer or whatever.
Yeah. Are you sure?
I'm about 90%. I'm pretty sure it's Oliphant. Yeah, it's Oliphant.
It's Oliphant. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Let's see. Apparently Sarah Polley didn't do any interviews about the film until its 20th anniversary. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Maybe she wasn't a big enough star, so you had the other two because they were TV stars.
I don't know. The letter X figures a lot in this film. So they remember that game they're playing in the beginning, and they mention Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Xerxes.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they're getting ecstasy, another name for ecstasy is X.
Mm-hmm.
It's Merry Xmas. Remember they have that the Christmas.
Actually,
The rave.
Never really noticed that till you said.
Yeah. The room that they're staying in I don't know, this is stretching it. Room 660 at the Riviera.
660. Why? Because there's X's in it?
Because there's X's in it.
Okay.
The fact that Simon draws an X on his arm, that's when they shoot him.
Yeah.
And then the fact at the end when they go pick up their friend, I don't know if you noticed this, they're actually at a XXX porn emporium.
Oh, the last, like when they're driving off
in
the parking lot?
Yeah.
I was trying to see. I was like, what is all that? Like, I was trying to read the signs.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Like, literally read the signs. Like,
this is a funny one. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice this, but I don't know if you remember that the dialogue between Scott Wolf and Jay Moore in the supermarket when they're talking about their cheating girlfriends.
mm-hmm.
He says, "Isn't it ironic?" And then Scott Wolf says, "Don't you think?" Which is from the Alanis Morissette song.
Which doesn't have a lot of irony.
No, it doesn't have a lot of irony. It's funny that game they're playing in the beginning about the celebrities. They mentioned Omar Sharif, but he hadn't passed away yet in 1999.
Oh, really?
He passed away in July 2015. So
that's funny.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because you take the last letter and then you got to start with that, right?
Yeah, you got to start with that. That's the reason the Malcolm X one. They're like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Nobody starts with an X.
Xenu.
Right.
Going back to Xenu.
Let's see what else. Apparently, they shot. Obviously, the movie set at night, so for 25 days straight, they shot from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Nice.
Um,
Is this like a low budget thing? Or
what do you mean?
like, was the movie? I know it didn't make a lot till later, right?
Well, I don't think it ever made a lot of money, but I mean, it became a cult, like a cult
Might have
film.
picked up some DVD money.
You think so?
Maybe. I don't know. But
The
it's kinda
budget,
like-
the budget had a $20 million budget. It still made $28 million in the box office, but
yeah.
it's still not a lot of money.
No Avengers return.
No Avengers Return. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, go. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you go and watch it.
Check your local show times.
Actually, I don't have it on DVD, so I had to rent it off of a streaming service.
I lent it to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of I never got it back.
You never got it back.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have this on DVD. This would be a movie that I think I would have, but I was looking for it. I didn't have
I didn't buy it till it was like cheap.
Oh, super cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like one of those CD exchange things.
Okay.
We get it for like $5.
I would watch it a lot on HBO.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So
But
I think the majority of my viewings were like it was on late night on HBO. I was like, oh, let me watch it again.
I think a lot. It's a movie. I don't think a lot of people have seen it though. It depends on the age.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I'm sure anybody
Actually,
born.
I
I'm sure
asked-
anybody born after it came out. I usually it's like a small percentage have seen it.
Actually, I brought it up to a friend last night.
Uh-huh.
Our age, they never seen it.
They never seen it. Yeah. It came and went. Yeah. I think you have to be sort of like you have to really like movies to have seen it. Not that it's like one of those, but it's just I think it's just it's
Yeah.
not a movie that a lot of people saw. So
I think I always remember in the trailer they have that scene with where she hears the shot.
mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm all right, and it's like
yeah
it
that's a big
sticks stuck in my head.
yeah but no it's a I enjoyed it very much. Like I hadn't seen it in a while, so it was a nice blast from the past.
Which is another movie we're about to do right now, starring Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone.
So any final thoughts, John, on the film that you wanna say that you hadn't said?
Oh, yeah, you should probably get if you are gonna do drugs, this movie's only dealing with ecstasy.
Yeah. Well, they smoke weed in it.
Yeah, but if you are gonna do something like that, get one of those test kits. No, I'm not joking. You can buy like a test kit online. I've
drugs.
seen it on that show, Drugs Inc.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think it's like you put like a couple of drops of like some solution.
I'll tell you if it turns a certain color.
Yeah, and make sure you're not buying like just some shit from the side of the railroad tracks in a capsule.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
So yeah, you just cut off a little piece of whatever you're buying, and
yeah, it depends how it is. But the test kits do work from what I've heard.
mm-hmm. Is it like
So
it's like test kits that
Like
cops use?
I don't know. I think it turns a certain color.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like
I've seen it on cops where like they take off a piece and they put it in a vial and they shake it, and then if it turns a certain color.
yeah. But, yeah, just
Test your drugs, kids.
test your drugs. don't go out there with
Just buying drugs blindly.
right and just
You earn that money, kids. You want to make sure you're spending it wisely and not getting ripped off by a
exactly
immoral drug dealer.
exactly because they're not all nice.
No, they're all not nice, and their return policies not all have a good return policy like IKEA.
Right,
IKEA's like it's a whole year.
but it's like we're in a new age where there's drug dealers that take Square and you can give them a debit credit card.
Mm-hmm.
That's not joking.
Yeah,
They don't ring it up as
drugs.
drugs.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
So
can write it off.
So if you take anything from this movie is test your drugs, kids. And with that, we leave you for another week. We see you next time at the Malarkey Hour podcast.
Cool.
Bye bye.